Hello, welcome back to my channel. I made it to Athens, Greece, which is not only the birthplace of the Olympics, philosophy, but most importantly, democracy. Join me as I sprint around Athens looking for little pictures of myself and our United States Embassy, as today I'm officially présent without a passport. So, stick around to figure out what this means for our slow travel journey and how to unfit myself from this mess. Let the games begin. Before I begin, I'd like to explain how I got here and how this happened. But first, a message from one of my favorite Greek descendants. Let's go outside. In the sunshine. I feel like I need to explain how I got here and how this happened. I flew from Argentina to Spain for a few days before heading to Greece. It was in Madrid that I stamped into the Schengen area on a regular tourist visa. I'll come back to that later. While in Madrid, I was having coffee with a friend who said that I needed to keep an eye out for the pickpockets in Athens, as his husband's wallet was pickpocketed on the airport metro line. Hearing what he said, I divided my two wallets, phone, and passport into my two front jean pockets. The airport metro train was there, but was also out of service, so all the passengers needed to cram onto the suburban line, then exit a few stops and transfer back onto the working metro line. I saw a gentleman with a very distinguished hat waiting with us. That particular hat caught my eye. I mean, have you seen the price of eggs in the United States? He gets onto the train first as we all pile in. He's now facing me as we board. I pass to the right of him. I feel him brush against me as we shuffle to all file into the train, and he excuses himself. He had a light jacket draped over his left forearm, and I feel something on my left abdominal side. I quickly feel for my wallet and phone, and they're still in my pockets. Whew. Mom and I and all of our bags now have our backs against the glass of the train facing the entry door. More and more people cram on. Seconds before the door finally closes, he gets out of the train. I turned to Mom and said, "That guy was a pickpocket, and he tried to get me." He brushed against me and then apologized. Then finally got off. We made it to the hotel and they asked for my identification. I emptied out my pockets, I had my phone and both wallets, but no passport. After checking in, I looked up the United States Embassy information in Athens. The first available appointment was weeks away. There are two forms you'll need to fill out. One canceling your old passport, the other applying for a new one. The form you submit canceling your old passport prevents any travel on that passport, including yourself should you find it later. I confess, I really didn't look at the forms that night, and now I'm telling you to read them. I'll explain why later. It's now 6 p.m. on a Tuesday, and I'm in a frenzy, Googling what to do and the dangers of having someone with your name, signature, date of birth, and birthplace. They can travel on your passport. I have a big beard. Many of my facial features are covered so it wouldn't be that difficult to pretend to be me. There's also no weight or height on it. Anyone can open credit in your name, so I would suggest contacting all 3 credit bureaus and putting a freeze to your credit until you need to do something with your credit. I did that before turning in for bed that night. The next morning, the hotel staff had found a reputable photographer that was open, and I set out on foot. He charged 15 euros for 4 perfect passport photos, and he did an amazing job. You can find many other places that will do it, and the Athens Embassy does have a photo booth, but what if it's not working? Time is ticking. With those 4 perfect passport photos in hand, I hightailed it to our embassy. I had a copy of my old passport as well as my current California Real ID driver's license. So now I'm standing, filling out the forms at a computer kiosk, and I need dates. Birth dates of parents, spouses, your wedding date, the day he passed away. Most of these dates are embedded into my memory. My suggestion to you is really read the forms and print them out in advance if you can, but know the information ahead of time. You will also need to know your flight out information, dates, and times. To be honest, I have all of that on my computer, last resort on my phone, but it's locked at the front desk, and without my phone, I couldn't tell you the date it was on that day, when I flew in, or when I was flying out. In this particular embassy, there are no wall clocks, so if you have a regular old-fashioned wristwatch, bring that. You'll fill out the paperwork and pay a fee. If you're flying out in a few days, they can get you an emergency passport. These emergency passports are good for a year or less, and some countries will not allow you in with these as they're usually a way for you to get out and go home, then file for a new passport once you're home. If you have more time in that country, you can ask to file for a brand new shiny 10-year Big Book Green Means Go passport. Good luck. Whether your passport is stolen or lost, you will still need to file a police report. Once you are given your new passport, that police report will be needed at border control when trying to exit that country. Remember, they stamped in your old passport number and now you have a new passport number. The police report you file will help you with what you'll need for that missing stamp in, so bring it when you're leaving the country. I did receive an email from the embassy the next week on a Friday afternoon. The email stated that this particular embassy issues passports on Tuesdays from 12 to 1 p.m. On the next Tuesday, I walked 2.5 miles uphill to the embassy only to find it was the Greek Independence holiday and our U.S. embassy was closed. Side note, if you're looking for a job overseas, not scared of DOGE or government shutdowns, with an embassy job, you'll probably get U.S. holidays and the host country's holidays off too. When I approached the embassy, the one guard there explained I can come back tomorrow and they will help me then. So I again venture out the next day, on a Wednesday, to be told the last Wednesdays of the month are administrative days only. They ask to see the email confirming that my passport is indeed in before they'll even ask to see if I can proceed because of the holiday the day before, and today being an administrative day only. Once again, I was let in without my phone, watch, keys, or earbuds. I waited my turn and sat next to a nice lady from Wisconsin who had had her passport stolen out of her backpack in an Athens grocery store. She had her passport pictures in hand that she had taken. When she showed them to the clerk, they were skeptical that they would indeed do the trick. When time is of the essence, I was next. I told the clerk I got the email. I opened my wallet, retrieved and handed him my real ID, leaving my wallet on the counter open near me. He took my ID and headed out to match it with my passport. Will I get the temporary passport that I have to limp home, costing thousands in lost bookings and new flights, or will I get a regular one? He came back to me with a question. What is your last name?
Anticipation.
Bewildered, I answered, Prejean, as in Prejean without a passport. He chuckled and replied, but I can't find it. Write down your email address that we sent the notification to. I wrote it down and then read it back to him as I wrote it down in Cajun, not in Greek. Another clerk walked up to the window with an envelope, slid it to me and said, open it, review it. If everything is correct, sign it. Bingo. A perfect 10-year Big Book passport. I gladly signed it. He's glad. Our business is done. And now he's about to walk away. But there on the counter in front of me is my open wallet without my driver's license. Dude, your coworker has my driver's license. The crowd behind me burst out in laughter. They saw it happen. Was this an honest mistake? I'm Prejean, reminding my pickpocket.
I don't know who you are. What I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. I will look for you. I will find you.